Hello and hope you're well. My name is Benson Joroge Kimani. The course I'm studying is a Bachelor's of Community Services. Unit name is Introduction to Management in Community Services. Unit code INT 204, Trimester 2, 2025. This is a strategic plan analysis of the Australian Red Cross. A brief but detailed introduction to Australian Red Cross is this is a humanitarian organization. It's a non-governmental organization, NGO, helping those in need during crisis. Crises can be floods, civil wars, political unrest, drought, and like the recent one we had was the COVID. So a pandemic is also a crisis. And Australian Red Cross provides disaster relief and humanitarian aid. This uh, organization, the structure of this organization is very well detailed. At the top, we have the CEO who oversees the organization's strategy and operations, followed by the disaster management coordinators, then the volunteer coordinators and advocacy and policy leaders in that manner. Australian Red Cross is governed by certain values. First and foremost is humanity. Since we are dealing with humans, humanity is a very important value of the Australian Red Cross, and this assists in during crisis whereby they are able to interact well with such people and give them assistance they need. Impartiality is another value. This basically means that the help offered by Australian Red Cross to the individuals in need is on a basis of need. It's on an as needed basis, but not who wants it. There's no discrimination based on nationality, religion, political beliefs, or race. This ensures prioritization of those most in need and fairness in service delivery. Third value is neutrality, whereby Australian Red Cross is a neutral and a non-governmental organization, meaning it can access the crisis-prone areas such as political and conflict zone. Australian Red Cross is able to get in there without being harmed since it's neutral and provide the humanitarian aid needed. Thirdly, its third value, the last but not least value is voluntary service. So Red Cross actually delivers most of its services through volunteers who are or people in ground who are well trained and assist in service delivery during such crisis. Easy to mobilize and affordable to run in the long run. Yeah. So we are going to look at certain strategic objectives of the Australian Red Cross. First and foremost is improved disaster response. This goal seeks to enhance the efficiency in service delivery during crisis times. The importance of this objective is that faster response saves lives and minimizes suffering. That faster response has a direct correlation to lives saved, since time is of the essence during crisis. And when you are delivering your services faster, meaning you're delivering it efficiently, and this will assist in saving lives. Also, it aligns with the mission to provide timely aid during crisis. So, the key initiatives under these objectives are faster mobilization, volunteer training to equip them with skills needed during a crisis, and preparedness plans, which is basically a pathway to be followed in case of a crisis. Second strategic objective is enhanced community resilience. This is basically about the community's ability to be sustainable on themselves, their ability to respond to and recover from disasters if and when they happen. So, the overview of community resilience programs can be delivered through preparedness training. If an area is prone to floods, volunteers around these areas are to be equipped with skills on how to swim, given lifesavers, and equipped with boats that can help in evacuation of residents to safer grounds during such crises. The importance of this strategic objective in the long term is that it enhances sustainability, whereby this is a state whereby the community is able to tackle its own issues when they happen, needing little to no assistance from the Australian Red Cross, and that's the whole point. Another important uh, reason why this objective is important is that it reduces dependency on external aid and fosters, which may in the long run lead to blackmail issues, lack of impartiality, and neutrality in the long run. The third strategic objective is advocacy for international humanitarian law. So, most countries have a treaty to follow certain set humanitarian laws which are acceptable worldwide, regardless of race, nationality, religion, or location on this world. So the goal is to promote awareness and adoption of humanitarian laws. So, what's the impact of this on policy and practice? It promotes protection of human rights clearly and encourages governments to integrate humanitarian laws into national policies. How this objective can be tied to Red Cross neutrality and impartiality is that it reinforces impartiality by ensuring all affected individuals receive protection under law, which is the international humanitarian law, and enhances neutrality by promoting laws that apply universally, regardless of political or religion affiliations. So, when we talk about outcome measures, is how we can quantify the success of our objectives as stated before. So, the outcome measure of decreased response time is the rate of lives saved. So, a faster response means more lives saved, reduced sufferings, and accelerated recovery after a crisis happens. So this can be measured by looking at the time taken between the time a crisis happens and when teams were dispatched all the way up to when they arrived to the ground and started delivering services, and also response time benchmarks. So this is comparing actual response time against industry standards and evaluating and the actual and forecasted response time and knowing whether we have a deficit or we are on track. Second output measure on volunteer training is that skilled volunteers are very, very critical in disaster response. Since these people are already on ground in the crisis prone areas, and with adequate and enough training from the Australian Red Cross, they are able to respond more effectively and efficiently, minimizing delays during crisis. And time is a very important issue during a time of crisis. Benchmarking disaster response time can be done through comparing it to international standards on response time benchmarks. This is very essential in evaluating the performance of Australian Red Cross since it, number one, identifies gaps and ensures alignment with global best practices in disaster response. Talking about disaster response time, there are certain areas of improvement based on benchmark results. And these are basically issues to do with logistics, volunteers, and technology. So the impact on vulnerable communities when improving disaster response, the impact on vulnerable communities will be both on the positive side of things, and this one of the impact is improved resilience and reduced dependency on external support. And another impact, which is also a positive impact, is that it enhances capacity to provide timely aid to those in need during disasters. I would really like to take my placement at the Australian Red Cross, and this is due to a number of reasons. I'm a very passionate, empathetic, and compassionate individual who really enjoys assisting people in need as a volunteer or in a work role setting. Due to this strong alignment with Red Cross, I feel I would really be in a happy place working at Australian Red Cross. And I have a very strong desire to contribute to the strategic objectives of this institution and incorporate technology into their operations. Since I'm very good in technology, I would like to incorporate technology and disaster response to assist in enhancing efficiency and effectiveness of service delivery during crisis times. I would say I'm a very suitable candidate for this organization due to the relevant skills I possess as a student doing Bachelor's of Community Services and as a disability support worker and aged care worker. I think and I know I'm very well versed in understanding people's needs, personal care needs, and the need to engage with community in the long run. Due to my work experience, my work description, I have adequate experience in working with diverse communities all over the world. And I have values that align well with the Red Cross, such as impartiality, neutrality, and community services. Thank you very much for your time. These are my references. My name is Benson Joroge. Bye for now.